Willie D Live.
What's up, family? I need you to put your memory hats on. Let's go back to 2001. The United States attacked Iraq, initially allegedly over Iraq's involvement in destroying the Twin Towers with airplanes, killing 2,753 people, including 343 firefighters, 23 NYPD officers, and 37 Port Authority officers. It was really bad, fam. On the other side of the water, you had soldiers who were killed on both sides. Total number, somewhere in the thousands. We won't ever get the exact number. Same thing in New York with the Twin Towers. You know, the United States is notorious for underreporting the amount of deaths that occur, especially when you talk about war, right? Deaths in association with war. Losses everywhere, fam. I'm talking about grave losses everywhere, huge losses. It seemed like everybody was losing except this guy named Larry Silverstein. They call him Lucky Larry. And the reason is because Larry just so happened to purchase insurance on the Twin Towers. Let me back up. He purchased the Twin Towers and insurance on the Twin Towers just weeks before they were destroyed. Just weeks. He purchased a 99-year lease. He spent $3.2 billion on the properties. Insured. Just a few weeks later, fam, he walks away with $4.6 billion. An over $1 billion return on investment in just weeks. How? You got to be lucky to do that. That's got to be real. That's got to be a lot of luck, right? A lot of lucky. This is Larry, like looks like a nice guy, looks like a trustworthy guy. What do y'all think? There has been speculation ever since those events that Larry had an inside connection. He had information that the Twin Towers would be destroyed. People have said time and time again, this guy knew exactly what was going on. So fast forward, now we're inside of the Iran war. And there are reports that a city in California is going to be attacked. And that city is Los Angeles. Guess who owns a tower in Los Angeles? Ding, 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 ding. You guessed it. Larry Silverstein. Oh, Lucky Larry. They are saying that there's going to be a false flag. The reports are that there's going to be a false flag in Los Angeles where a tower is going to be hit. There's going to be something very similar to the Twin Towers. Larry owns a U.S. Bank Tower. He purchased it recently. Now, how recent? There were reports out there that said that as soon as this information about LA possibly being attacked was released, Larry scurried to go and work out a deal and purchase the building. But I was like, that's just can't be, man. I know that they playing in our faces and they're not trying to hide it, but they can't be that blatant with it, right? So I looked it up, and I found that That might be a little exaggeration there, right? Silverstein Properties acquires U.S. Bank Tower. So that's Larry's latest major investment. Well, maybe that's his latest major tower investment, right? U.S. Bank. That's a nice gem right there. That is a very tall building, and it's in the heart of downtown LA. But as you can see from the date of this article, which talks about his purchase of the property, that this property was actually purchased 6 years ago. So, well, almost 6 years ago. This date is stamped at September 16, 2020. That is the date of the article, September 16, 2020. Silverstein Properties, a private real estate developer, owner, and property manager based in Manhattan, closed on the acquisition of U.S. Bank Tower, a 1.4 million square foot trophy office building in downtown Los Angeles. Silverstein purchased the property from Singapore real estate company for $430 million. This acquisition follows the purchase of 1735 Market Street in Philadelphia and the recent opening of 3 World Trade Center in New York, each the very best office building in their respective cities. So that information that's going around where people are saying that Larry recently purchased the U.S. Bank Tower like just days ago, that is a lie. It's just a blatant lie, because it's easy to just look it up and see what the truth is. Now, I understand why people would believe something like this, because quite frankly, this guy is the personification of evil. I do believe that he knew exactly what was going on with the Twin Towers. There's no way you're just that lucky. Nobody's that lucky, right? But they call him Lucky Larry because he just happens to always know, where the windfall is going to occur. He just knows. I mean, he knows, right? But Larry wasn't alone. If indeed Larry knew something about the Twin Towers coming down, that means he wasn't alone, because he didn't just go seek out the Twin Towers. Somebody called him and asked him, did he want to purchase the Twin Towers? They made the Twin Towers a private company before it was sold. They put it on the private market. So this reeks of conspiracy. And many people have said that this came straight from the top. This is all U.S. This is U.S. doing. And I'm going to tell you something, fam. When I look at most of the pain and suffering that go on in the United States, it's self-inflicted. What I see is Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, all these other countries, China, Russia, they're not America's biggest enemy. America's biggest enemy is America. America's biggest enemies are Americans. It's not Mexicans, it's not Afghanistans or Afghanistanians, it's not Iraqis, it's Americans. Americans are the ones going into these schools, airing it out, killing everybody. Americans are the ones who are putting chemical carcinogens in our food and water. Americans are the ones who are allowing people like Bill Gates to modify our meats and butter and produce. Americans are doing this. They're the ones taking money, allowing these people to do this. Americans are the ones shutting down our schools and building prisons. They're building more prisons than they're building schools. When's the last time you heard about a prison being shut down? They don't shut down prisons, but they are quick to shut down a school. Oh man, the school is costing too much money. We're losing too much money. Oh, the schools it's not performing well, but the prison seems to always perform well. Even though the inmates complain about the conditions all the time, they never address those conditions, but they're quick to address the conditions, the bad conditions in the schools by not fixing the schools, but shutting the schools down. So if the prisons are so bad, and the conditions are so bad, and the prisoners are complaining about it, why don't they shut the prisons down? See, that's too much like right. That's way too much like right. No country, I'm going to say it again, fam, no country has ever attacked America more than America has. There ain't no country that's as dangerous to Americans as America is itself. And now they're talking about drones have been stolen. They say that somebody has stolen 4 drones. And that's consistent. That's on par with somebody using those drones being stolen right here in the US. Those drones are expected to be used against Americans. And why would they do that? Because they want Americans to be okay with them wiping Iran off the map. I do believe that Trump wants to test how far he can go with destroying Iran. And I think he wants to demolish it. He already talked about wiping it off the map. So if they can create some type of catastrophe in the United States and blame it on Iran, it would give them the greatest excuse to go over there and do whatever they want to. And no one would be the wiser unless if they are not wise, no one would be the wiser, because the propaganda machine is going to be at work. The propaganda machine is going to be like, look what they did. Look what they did to us. Look at it. People going to be crying. They're going to be talking about loss of life. And you're going to have Americans out there, revenge, not understanding that the same damn people that's promoting the propaganda are the same ones involved with your pain and suffering in the first place. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.